Hey y'all, it's Brittany from Enjoy the View Travel. Welcome to the channel. Let's cruise Enchanted Princess Edition, New England and Canada. Good morning from New York City. I guess really Long Island City. I should correct myself. We had a good night's sleep and we are ready to get on that ship this morning. But first, we need to have a little bit of breakfast and we need to grab our Uber and head to Brooklyn. All right, so after finishing up breakfast, grabbing all of our things, we headed out to catch our Uber. It arrived very quickly and promptly. We got all of our stuff put in. We got into the Uber and headed to the port. So I told you that I got some pictures of some awesome bridges, so I've included a couple of those. We are getting ready to get on the Brooklyn Bridge, as you can see here, which was really exciting. And also, you can see like a fuzzy, blurry ship down here in the corner. That's our ship as we saw it from the Brooklyn Bridge. So take all the pictures. Look, even if it's raining, it doesn't matter that it's raining. I still got great pictures. So don't not take your pictures because it's raining. Still take them. You have, experiences to share. That's part of the experience. So take the pictures. All right, a couple more photos as we were getting to the ship. I got the kind of like a foggy skyline of Manhattan there in the background. That was a pretty cool photo. I'm not really sure why I took this picture over here on the right side, but I did. I think it might have been the art piece that is on top of it, but it's kind of hard to see. Maybe I'll try to fix that and zoom it in. We'll see. Anyway, and then we arrived at the ship. Isn't she a beauty? Now we didn't have to wait in line for just a little bit. You can see all of those taxis, and there were some Ubers in there too, and you can see a trailer truck coming in to deliver some things. He's actually coming in the wrong way, and he creates a very big problem because he can't get around in this area, so it took a little bit to get him where he needed to be. So they come and they let you off in the Uber area. The problem was that it wasn't really a huge problem. However, they were still getting off the ship. Passengers from the previous cruise were still getting off the ship. So they were waiting for Ubers to pick them up. They were waiting for their charter buses to take them to the airport. So all of that was going on to the left side of where they let us out at the Uber. Now, typically when you would get out, you would go to the left side and walk down and walk across. But we couldn't do that because it was completely packed with people. So we got our stuff out and we just headed to the right and walked that way, which I don't really think we were supposed to do, but there wasn't really anywhere to go the other side. So just be careful if you are doing that because taxis and Ubers and things are driving up, and that trailer truck that was coming up behind us too. So just be careful when you are crossing, if you are crossing right there. And then we went down and we dropped off our baggage and we headed in to check in. So this cute little sign saying welcome to New York City is what was on the TVs as you came in to stand in line to go through security, and it played through some other things also, but I wanted to specifically grab this one and like the graphic and everything. So when you come in, there's going to be some roped off sections. I did not take pictures of this this time. I think I have in past cruises. I didn't grab any this time. And you head up and you wait in line till they open the security. And so then they have, and it's just like security, like at the airport where you would put any of your carry-on luggage that you have and put that through. We had dropped off our actual suitcases with the porters, and tip your porters, don't forget to do that. And then we had some carry-on things like our backpacks, my dad's CPAP machine, things like that, that you carry onto the ship with you. They have to go through the scanners just like you would at the airport. So same concept, maybe not quite as thorough, but same concept. So we had to wait in line for that. We really didn't wait in line that long. I'm wanting to say that about 10 o'clock, they opened security up, and we could start, going through security. Now, we were not the very first ones in line, but we were pretty close. I would say probably within the first 40 or 50 in line to go through security. So you go through the security, and again, it's the same thing. You take everything out of your pockets like you would going through airport security. So we went through and we did that. Got everybody's stuff, and then you go and you actually check in. So you want to have your medallions out at this time, because Princess uses the medallion, because you're going to scan your medallion. They will check to make sure you have updated photos, and if they need to take a photo, they can check you in, or they can do that there. They're checking you in on like these iPads, and it went very smoothly. That took less than 5 minutes. I would say security took 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how long it took you to get all your stuff through, and how long the people in front of you, it was taking them. So in about 15 minutes, we were completely checked in, and then you have to go and you have to sit and wait over in a little holding area until they actually let you onto the ship. And that didn't take too long either. I'm wanting to say that we were on the ship by 10:30. Which is amazing. It really is. And so I'll show you that holding area coming up next. All right, here we are in our little holding area, sitting and waiting for them to call our number. So they give you a number, and when they call that number, then everybody that has that number can board the ship. And so you walk down this hallway, and then you have to go up the escalator or the stairs here. And it had this really cool sign said, "Leaving Brooklyn, forget about it." So I had to take a picture of that, of course. There is also an elevator. So if you have mobility issues, or you have a lot of carry-on things that you were taking on with you, then there is an elevator option right to the left of this escalator as well. So we are headed up, and we are headed to get on the ship. All right, so we entered the ship on deck 7, and that's the promenade deck. And we immediately came over and found us some seats at Bellini's, which is one of the bars. And this is overlooking the piazza. I absolutely love this chandelier piece that they have hanging. It is absolutely gorgeous. And the reason that we come here is because the first thing that we always do is watch our muster video and then go to our muster station. And today was no different. So we sat down, I got everybody hooked up. I am the tech person for our little group. So I got everybody hooked up watching their video. We all watched the video. It is literally like 6 minutes. So you watch your muster video. You have to do it when you're on the ship, because you have to be connected to ship Wi-Fi so that it registers on your phone that you have watched the video. I'm sure that's some kind of little security feature that they have set up there, but that's what you have to do. So we watched the little video, about 6 minutes or so, and then we gathered our things and we headed down towards where our muster station was, so that we could check in. And luckily, our muster station was down by the Vista Lounge. So we just had to walk to the other end of our floor to check in at the muster station, and it just so happens that that is over by the Crown Bar Grill. The Crown Grill Bar. I can't even say this right. Let me make sure that I'm saying this right. The Crown Grill Bar. Yes. Okay. So we're going to the Crown Grill Bar. And there is a spot there that is our embarkation day drink and area, and so we sat down there and put all of our stuff down until we could go drop it off in the cabin, and that is coming up next. So as we headed over to our muster station, I took a quick picture of Princess Live because you don't find it very often where there's nobody in there. So I took a quick picture of that on the way back. And then here we are at our favorite little spot. It's a perfect little section. It's kind of sectioned off by itself. It's a little table and 4 chairs, so it's perfect for our group of 4. And so you're going to find that you will find places throughout the ship like this that are like your little spots that you like. And sometimes you come up to your little spot and there are people sitting in it. There was not anybody in our spot at this point. So we all got, well, Mom and Dad had gotten their drinks. Paul and I had not gone to get ours yet when I took this photo, but we got up and went and got us something as well. We had to walk, which is interestingly enough, so we're at the Crown Grill bar, right? Well, the bar wasn't open, so we had to go all the way back to, I'm wanting to say the Princess Live bar was open, so we had to go all the way back there. So sometimes when you are in ports or on embarkation day, everything is not open at the same time. So you do have to kind of pay attention to that. Sometimes it will be listed on your Princess Patter for the day of what areas are going to be open and when. We had not been to the cabin yet, so we had not had our Princess Patter yet. So you just kind of had to feel it out on embarkation day of what was open and what wasn't. So we hung out here for just a while until they announced that we could go drop our things off in our cabin. And then we went and we dropped our stuff off, and we got ready to start the day. So as we were headed to our room to drop our things off, there are these large TVs in between the banks of elevators on each floor, and they tell you special things. So for example, this one tells you what deck we were on. We were on Aloha Deck 12. It also tells you that the all aboard time is 3:30 p.m. It tells you what the time is down at the bottom and where you're at and the date, and so all that information. And it had a really nice picture of the Brooklyn Bridge back there in Manhattan. So I had to take a picture of that so I could share that with you. And so it is getting close to 12 o'clock, and 12 o'clock is when the main dining room opens for lunch. And so that is where we are going to head for our lunch today on embarkation day. So let's check that out. So here is the lunch menu for embarkation day. One of the main dining rooms on the Enchanted, it's the Amalfi dining room in the back on deck 6. That is what is open for embarkation lunch, and it's open from 12 to 1:30, so it's not open a very long period of time. Now, a lot of people head off to the buffet for lunch, but we like to kind of start our cruise a little slower, and we actually do the main dining room more than we do the buffet. So anyway, I wanted to take a picture, so I kind of have cropped it so you can see the menu better and see what's available. And the funny thing is, this is the exact same menu that was available on the Enchanted for embarkation lunch on our previous Enchanted Princess cruise. So I thought that was funny. And I feel like I got pretty much the same thing, and it was really good. Their food is always really good. I highly enjoy it and recommend it. So I'm going to show you some of the things that we got coming up next. All right, I didn't take a picture of everybody's meal, but I got a couple of things. Some of us got some of the same things. So I wanted to show you a sampling of what we had on our embarkation lunch. So I had the Tuscan-style chickpea soup. That is phenomenal. I'm going to have to look up a recipe for that and see if I can make that, because this is really, really good. And I'm not somebody who really likes chickpeas all that much. I do eat them from time to time. I do eat hummus a little bit, but this was really, really spot on and good. Then we also had the mixed greens with cucumber, carrot, and red onion. You can't go wrong with a good salad. And then for the entrees, there is a spinach and ricotta cheese ravioli. I had that. It was phenomenal. I had it last time we were on the Enchanted as well. Still very good. And then the grilled herb spiced beef tenderloin. My dad got that, and of course he got that last time too, and he says it is still so good. So that's what we had for lunch. I did not take any photos of our desserts. However, I do remember that Mom had the orange souffle, because this is the only time on the whole entire cruise that you can get the orange souffle, is in the main dining room for lunch on embarkation day. The only time. So she has to get that every time. So she got that. And then I had a couple of different flavors of gelato. And it was so good. So really great options. You get appetizer, you get a main dish, you get dessert, and you get drinks. And so a good time was had by all. Well, once we wrapped up our embarkation lunch, it was time to head outside to do a little sightseeing from the deck of the ship. And let me tell you, it did not disappoint. This was my very first time ever seeing the Statue of Liberty. Definitely a bucket list item that I can check off now that I've gotten to see in person. And I tried to get some great shots of that while we were in port, while we were leaving, and while we were coming back. So I'll share those with you along the way as well. And then you just can't beat the Manhattan skyline. I mean, it just screams city. And for a country girl, you know, that is definitely something different for me. But you cannot look at that and just not be amazed at the architecture that is there, at the high rises that are there, and just marvel at how many people live in that little bitty space. So this was definitely, spent quite a bit of time out on the deck, taking in some different things. And this is where I actually got to start grabbing some video. So we'll share some of that next. Look, there she is, Lady Liberty. It is so cool to actually see this in person. Sorry about the wind. I'm trying to block it. I'm not sure it's working. And then if you scan over here, you start to see the skyline. And then there it is. Cloudy and foggy today. All the way over to the Brooklyn Bridge, which we got to come across, which was fun. Well, you know, we had to get some of those selfies with the skyline, but you can see the weather is starting to deteriorate here. You can already see it's starting to get foggy. It's fixing to start raining, and it's going to get foggier, and you're going to see that in the next set of pictures. Well, y'all, it started to rain. No shocker there. We've already had rain on this trip, so it wasn't any shocker there. It got a little foggy out, but it created some really great pictures of the Manhattan skyline and also of the Statue of Liberty. So we grabbed a couple of those. We had to take a little bit of a break from viewing things out on the deck before we got ready to leave port, but we'll be back. So before we got ready to leave port, it did clear up some, as you can see. Still cloudy, still windy, still rainy at some points, but it cleared up enough where we can get some more good pictures. I got another really good picture of the Statue of Liberty, of some sailboats there in front of Manhattan. So grab some of those, but we should have sail away coming up here shortly. All right, here is our last look, the Manhattan skyline as we are sailing away from Brooklyn Terminal. And we also are going to see the Statue of Liberty. And we are headed up to Boston, y'all. So we're coming up on the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, which is extremely hard to say for me. I do not know why, but it is. Anyway, we're coming up on that bridge, and I did take some footage. It is very windy, so I may mute that part of it and just let some music play, but I do have some video footage for you. When we came back in, the sail away party had been moved inside due to the weather, and they were having some fun. So this is another ship that was ahead of us that went under the bridge before we did. I believe that they were sailing out of the Manhattan cruise terminal, as we were the only ones in the Brooklyn cruise terminal. So we did not see them until this point. But anyway, so we've come in from sail away, and now we are headed up to unpack our things a little bit and get ready for dinner, because we have a reservation coming up very soon at the Catch by Rudy. See you there. So welcome to the Catch by Rudy. This was our view from our table. Very nice table that we had. This is our first time eating at the Catch by Rudy. It is one of the specialty dining restaurants. So the way it works with Princess is that once you have your cruise paid for, then you can go on the app and you can make your reservations for where you would like to eat. Now we have the Premier package, which means that we have unlimited specialty dining. So we did not eat at the Catch by Rudy on our previous cruise because at that time we had Premier also, but you were only allowed 2 specialty dining options with that. Now they have changed their packages and it is unlimited. So if we wanted to eat at a specialty restaurant every night, we could. Funny story, when I started making our reservations, the Catch by Rudy, the only reservation I could get was for 8:20 at night. We did not want to eat that late. We eat earlier typically, and we didn't want to eat that late. So Princess has something called the Dine Line, and you can contact them and see if they can get you a reservation if you're having problems getting reservations. So I did call. and talked to them on the dine line, and she said there were no reservations, but she would see what she could do. She said, I will send an email and see if I can't get something worked out for you. Well, lo and behold, maybe a week or so later, I got an email back, and they had gotten us a reservation for, was it 5 o'clock or 5:30? I don't know. It was right when the restaurant opens. It was the very first reservation, and they got us in. So that was amazing that they were able to do that. And I did not look forward to this because it is a seafood restaurant, and I am not really a seafood person. However, this was an amazing experience, and the food was phenomenal. And they do have other options besides seafood, which I knew that they did before. But so let's take you through and show you some of the things that we got. All right, so they start you off with drinks. You get water, you get complimentary champagne, and then you can order whatever else you would like to drink. In this case, I ordered myself a red wine. I believe it was Cabernet. And then they bring you out some things to start. So they bring out bread. Everybody gets this little dish with this whipped flavored butter. It was very good. And then I don't even know what all was in this little dish over here, but it was all good, whatever it was. It was very, very good. So you could dip your bread in that also. And so this was like basically your first round of food, and it was phenomenal. So next up was appetizers, and everybody either got the crab cakes or the shrimp cocktail. And it came in this little fancy octopus looking dish. I should have got a better picture of the dish that it was in because it was really cool. But I wanted you to be able to see the shrimp cocktail better. So this was our appetizers. So then it was time for our main courses. Now, 3 of us got the lobster tail and filet. The sides came, you can see it in the little pans. You could get like a variety of the sides, and then you would share like a family style. So we did that, and then they would refill any of them that you wanted refilled, so you could have plenty. And then my mom got this other dish. I don't remember the name of it, but they brought it out, and it's a little bit of a surprise to anybody who orders it because they don't tell you about I think it is some kind of a shrimp that is hanging from the hook, but they don't tell you about that. So she was a little like, what the heck is this? But they do actually, you don't have to figure out how to get that out. They actually take care of that for you. And I believe I got some video of that, so we'll watch that next. Okay, so to say my mom was surprised by this was an understatement. It's not a shrimp, it is some kind of a smaller lobster, but they do cut it up, and they do put it on your plate for you, and then they take away the body that is left from it, so that you don't have to look at that while you're eating. It was kind of a little creepy with the eyes and everything looking at you, but it was very much like a little show with your dinner. All right, and then we had dessert. I believe, I wanted to say all 3 of us got the chantilly lace, and then Mom got this other one, and it's some kind of chocolate face or something. It's supposed to look like a face on the plate. It probably does not look, because I have it upside down there, but all the desserts were really, really good. Everybody enjoyed what they had, and overall, the meal at the Catch by Rudy was amazing. I'm actually sad that we didn't do it on the previous one. And so the next time that we go on a princess ship that has the Catch by Rudy, they do not all have the Catch by Rudy, we will definitely be going again. It was a great, great experience. Well, that wraps up our embarkation day. We had a great meal to end the evening. We just spent the rest of the time, exploring the ship, having a little bit of fun before we headed to bed. And tomorrow or on our next episode, we'll be headed mostly a sea day and then arriving into Boston, where we will actually be docking for the night. This is not typical with a cruise that you have an overnight, unless it's a special itinerary, but we'll be docking overnight because we had to miss Rhode Island because of the weather. So stay tuned and we'll see what tomorrow brings. Thank you for watching Let's Cruise Enchanted Princess Edition. Be sure to visit us at enjoytheviewtravel.com. Hit that like, share, and notification bell. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode.